no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your and get you an old out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Shannon Sharpe should have taken Mo'Nique's warning seriously when she told him to quit chasing after young women, because now he just learned the hard way. Remember when he got slapped with that lawsuit a couple months back by a woman accusing him of allegedly essaying her? Well, the latest update just dropped, and it's explosive. Shannon's not just in trouble, he's out of a job, and his bank account is about to take a major hit. Word on the street is he's pointing the finger straight at Mo'Nique, blaming her for everything going down right now. But what exactly did she do? And is this the beginning of the end for Shannon Sharpe's career? Here's the deal. From the very start, you could tell this was going to be a brutal fight for Shannon. The woman accusing him, Gabriela Zuniga, came with serious allegations. Still, nobody thought it would spiral into this, because now Shannon's been fired from ESPN over the SA lawsuit. The shock hit even harder because just a few months before getting sued, he had locked in a multi-year extension with ESPN. Everyone figured his job was secure. Then, out of nowhere, he quietly settled the case with the woman, known legally as Jane Doe, out of court. We don't know the exact number, but insiders are whispering that Shannon coughed up a massive $23 million to close the deal.
This isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
That's way less than the $50 million Gabriela was chasing, but it's still life-changing cash. Enough for her to walk away from OnlyFans for good. Shannon keeps swearing up and down that their time together was totally consensual. But when you cut a check that big, people start raising eyebrows. Looks like ESPN saw the same red flags the public did. And that's probably why they cut Shannon loose. And honestly, with the disturbing details in this case, it's not shocking they didn't want his name tied to their brand anymore. According to Gabriela, she was just 19 when she linked up with Shannon, who was 54 at the time. That age gap instantly had people side-eyeing the whole situation. To put it in perspective, back when this relationship supposedly happened, Shannon's youngest kid was pushing 30, meaning Gabriela was about a decade younger than his own children. So, yeah, maybe it was technically legal, but in this kind of context, the vibes are way off. Now, about that lawsuit, Gabriela came in swinging. She filed under the alias Jane Doe, probably hoping to keep things under wraps. But that didn't last long. Shannon's legal team straight up dropped her real name in their filings. And just like that, her identity was out in the open. In her claims, Gabriela paints a dark picture, saying Shannon manipulated and controlled her, and even accuses him of violently taking things too far in October 2024 and again in January 2025, completely ignoring her pleas to stop. She says the encounters left her sobbing and screaming, but he allegedly refused to hear the word no. At first, things seemed normal. They met at a gym in LA and slid into what she describes as a consensual relationship that lasted about 2 years. But somewhere along the line, she claims it all turned ugly. Gabriela says Shannon became cruel and at one point allegedly threatened to harm her when she tried to share her location with friends. And if you think that's the end of it, It's not even close. Gabriella also dropped another bomb, saying Shannon had a thing for recording their intimate moments. Sometimes she says she gave the green light, but other times she claims she didn't even know the camera was rolling. According to her, Shannon swore the footage was just for his eyes, but she accuses him of later showing it off to his friends like it was some kind of trophy. But Shannon wasn't about to let those claims slide without a fight. He came swinging back through his lawyer, and let's just say the gloves came off. Not only did they deny every single accusation, but they also dropped what they say are actual text messages from Gabriella. And these weren't just a little flirty. We're talking explicit, far past anything PG rated. In those texts, Gabriella was allegedly sending Shannon some shockingly graphic fantasies, talking about collars, choking, and even making comments about him getting her pregnant in a way that made a lot of people uncomfortable. What really made jaws drop wasn't just the sexual nature. It was her bizarre, repetitive obsession with certain racial undertones that came across, well, let's just say off. People online immediately pointed out how weird and uncomfortable the wording was, especially given that Gabriella is white. The whole tone of those messages came across as fetishizing, and some even said it sounded like straight-up race play. Shannon's camp made it crystal clear in their statement. They believe this lawsuit is nothing more than a calculated cash grab. The official line? This lawsuit filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars in her effort to extract a large financial settlement. And trust me, that's not where the mess ends. According to Shannon's camp, Gabriella came at him with a secretly recorded video of what he insists was a consensual, intimate encounter.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so...
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
His team claims the footage was chopped up, heavily edited, and stripped of all context, crafted to twist a willing act into something non-consensual. They say the so-called evidence ignores the fact that this was an adult relationship filled with role play, explicit language, and fantasy scenarios that Gabriella herself allegedly requested. Shannon's side insists the edited tape was shown to him during what they call a blatant blackmail attempt. And when viewed without the full string of prior text messages, they say it falsely paints him as coercive. Shannon has flat out denied every accusation of misconduct, calling the essay claim a gross lie, and vowing not to bow to what he describes as an outrageous shakedown. But he didn't stop there. Shannon doubled down with a video message of his own, and he went straight for Gabriella's attorney, Tony Busby. Yep. That Tony Busby, the same lawyer who once tangled with Jay-Z in an SA case. In the clip, Shannon accuses Busby of plotting to drop audio snippets that are, in his words, completely out of context and edited to make me look guilty. And according to Shannon, this isn't just about smearing his name, it's about money, big money. He claims Gabriella and Busby are gunning for a whopping $50 million payout. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, Shannon says. Busby has targeted black men before, and I believe he's planning to release a 30-second clip from a sex tape to make me look guilty and feed every stereotype imaginable. And if you thought the drama couldn't get messier, you might want to think again. Shannon wasn't holding back in his video, calling out Tony Busby directly and daring him to drop the full footage instead of any chopped-up version. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. Shannon says the encounter everyone's talking about actually happened in broad daylight, at Gabriella's own invitation. Now he's calling it a calculated setup, claiming Gabriella, who also went by Carly on OnlyFans, teamed up with Busby to target him. According to Shannon, their $50 million lawsuit isn't going to end with him paying a dime, because he's flipping it around and suing them for defamation and trying to destroy his career. "My career is all about real talk and honesty," Shannon said. "I know my family and my fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm gonna keep speaking my truth just like I always do. I love all you guys." But that's when Tony Busby fired back, and he came with receipts. Busby claims that during mediation, Shannon himself offered Gabriella $10 million to make the lawsuit disappear. In his statement, Busby laid out the timeline. Back in early February, his office reached out to Shannon on behalf of Jane Doe to talk about setting up a meeting. Several conversations followed, leading to a mediation process that lasted over 6 weeks. Shannon was represented by different lawyers at the time, and according to Busby, that mediation ended with Shannon making what he called an incredibly significant settlement offer. Gabriella refused the money and instead filed the lawsuit. Busby also says the text messages Shannon's team released are misleading, claiming every single one was sent before the alleged incidents took place. Those texts were obviously released to distract the public's attention from the real allegations, Busby wrote. And just when people thought it couldn't get messier, Busby dropped a bomb, releasing an audio clip where Shannon can allegedly be heard threatening to choke Gabriella. Yeah, this is looking really bad for Shannon. After Tony Busby dropped that audio, he didn't mince word, saying, "The contents of this clip are not playful. They're disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous." According to Busby, the recording paints a crystal clear picture of how Shannon allegedly treated Jane Doe, so much so that she fled Nevada just to get away from him and blocked all contact. But Shannon's lawyer wasn't about to let that slide. This time, he aimed straight at Gabriella, calling the whole lawsuit a straight-up money grab. He pointed out the timing, saying it was no coincidence Gabriella filed her claims one day before headlines broke that Shannon was closing in on a massive $100 million media deal for his Club Shay Shay podcast. She knew about that contract and she used it to her advantage, his lawyer claimed. "In my opinion, this is the textbook definition of blackmail, striking when you have the most leverage. And whether you believe him or not, it's wild that Gabriella still managed to walk away with a reported $23 million settlement. Here's where it gets even messier. Mo'Nique apparently saw all this coming. She had warned Shannon about his fixation on dating younger white women, telling him straight up that he should find someone closer to his own age. Fast forward, Shannon's out of a job, and now there's word on the street that he's blaming her for his downfall. Rumor has it he thinks Mo'Nique's interview planted the idea in Gabriella's head to sue, banking on the fact that the public would rally behind a young white woman. In Shannon's mind, if that interview never happened, none of this would have blown up like it did. The lack of accountability here is next level, but what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with your crew, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe TeaWatch so you don't miss the next deep dive into this chaotic drama.